I just started this video by looking at the dog. There's the dog. This is the dog who has just sat through City of Death. So I've avoided doing this for all of this. This is one of the Doctor Who stories I've seen the most in my life. I got bought this on video when my mum accidentally recorded over something that I had taped off the telly. Libby doesn't know this story. And I got all stroppy about it as a however old I was. And then one day I got back from school and City of Death was sat there and she'd gone to WH Smith in her lunch hour and bought it for me. Did you know that? So, if you took a Doctor Who story and condensed it down and it had the prerequisite amount of everything in it, whether it's funny, clever, drama, good music, location. If you were to condense a Doctor Who story down to provide the formula of what the perfect Doctor Who story is, I think it's City of Death. And I honestly think, because I've said over the course of doing this, I've said that, Power of the Daleks, best Doctor Who story. Eve of the Daleks, best Doctor Who story. Genesis of the Daleks. Ark in Space. We haven't watched a Doctor Who story better than this one. It's just perfect.
Do you mean yes in the time?
Thus far, and casting my mind forward, I can think of a handful of stories.
It's not perfect.
It is. It's so perfect.
I don't think it's perfect.
What's not perfect about it, Lib?
I don't think there's enough resolution for the Splinter in Time man.
But screw the Splinter in Time man.
I liked him.
You liked him.
I liked
This is
him.
typical my wife. She likes Scarleone.
No, come on. He's the last of his race. All he wanted to do was save himself and save
Save
the rest
himself,
of his race.
save
What's
them.
wrong with that?
What's wrong with
If you were
that?
the last Time Lord, what would you do?
Yeah, but his death caused the start of all life on Earth.
Yeah, but that...
But
Can't he just go back like a bit? I don't need to like rewind all
No.
the history. No, I don't think they should all be dead. And
No.
It doesn't say that he's all dead, all 12 splinters.
Big Finish can do an 11-part story where you wrap up all the other splinters. Right, so honestly, truthfully, seriously, this is as perfect for me as Doctor Who gets. It's so funny, like screamingly funny, without it being silly. Because Doctor Who can do silly, but this isn't silly. It's clever.
It's silly, but it's not like...
But it's clever as well. I mean, it's really clever. Some of the little interplay, the stuff about paintings at the end is absolutely brilliant. Lalla Ward is the perfect companion for this. And I say Lalla Ward, I mean Romana, but Romana 2 in particular. She is the absolute perfect person to have in this. Tom Baker is on his A+ game. Duggan, I mean, you think back to the Armageddon Factor with Grant Shapps playing that part in just completely the wrong tone. It took a very deft piece of directing or a really good insight from the actors involved to know exactly how to pitch the broadness of their characters. Because you look at Julian Glover playing the Count, the Countess, the butler, just everything. And then Duggan, who could in another story be awful, in this is utterly perfect. And it helps he's got the foil of Romana. There's not many companions you could put against him and it would work. And it's worked perfectly. You've got a script co-written with, Graham Williams, but you've got to say I was thinking this through. Let's say of the top 5 best writers to write for Doctor Who, Douglas Adams has got to be one of them. And it's a crime that so little... I mean, he's obviously spread about a little bit over but this is just so perfect. When people seem to ask me a lot, what's your favourite Doctor Who story? And I always and I always go, there's this story and you've never heard of this story, but it's brilliant. You could show this to anybody. And I just don't see how you can't get on board with this. And even if you're making an assessment of this programme and you're not taking into account the time it's made. Because I'm looking back, you look at some of the 60s stuff and you say, Creaky set this, that and the other. It's one of the best, 10 out of 10, whatever. That's bearing in mind the fact of when it's made and you make concessions for that. I don't think there's anything... I think this transcends that sort of conversation because with the exception of maybe the set in prehistoric Earth, maybe the model work on the spaceship, maybe, you know, the odd shaky wall or whatever. There's nothing about this that doesn't stand up. And just, oh man, genuinely, I didn't know we were going to sit and watch all 4 episodes of this tonight, and it's just been just the right thing at the right time, and I'm just so stoked to have yet again sat through City of Death. However many times I've watched this Doctor Who story will never be enough. And, you know, don't want to get morbid, but if this was the last, not now, I've got lots to do, but if this was going to be the last Doctor Who story I ever watched when I'm 90, 109 or whatever, that would be okay. That would be okay. You don't want it to be flipping Curse of the Black Spot, do you? Jesus, nobody wants that in their life. Stop it, dog. I'm having a nice time. So listen, we've touched upon where the Doctor's at right now in his life. By the way, turning the randomizer off, it's a bit, you know, whatever, but that's fine. This story needs it. What I know that I've not seen, I don't think, the next 3 stories. I know the next 3 stories, though. So it's going to be an interesting ride. But in terms of high watermarks in Doctor Who, after slumming it a bit, post Sarah Jane, post halfway through Leela perhaps, my gosh, talk about being in rude health. This is just unbelievable. Unbloody-lievable. What a gift. See you next time.